The Beautylish gift card event is upon us. Now, little something, you guys. I'm shooting this from the future because we had a break in the rain. So I don't know exactly what the dates are, but I've posted this video when it is happening. So I'm going to put the dates right here and check down below in the description box. I'll put the dates there, and I'll also put them in my community page. What is the gift card event? It's an event they have, I believe, twice a year. It is twice a year, where it's almost like getting 20% off, but it's not. Here's the rub. You spend $100 and you get $20 gift card towards your next purchase. So that's roughly 20% off. I'm going to break up this video into two parts, makeup and brushes. I also shot B-roll, you guys, of me applying a lot of the things that I'm talking about, including today. But I just wanted to let you know, when I'm wearing that kind of steel blue turtleneck, I was actually testing the Say foundation, so that's not something that is being sold there. And I'm going to only talk about makeup brands that you can get at Beautylish and not at Sephora, or Ulta for that matter. There will be timestamps below if you just want to skip to the brush section. We're going to start with the makeup section. And I'm going to break it down by brands instead of by foundations and blushes and whatnot. And it looks like I'm going to be going in alphabetical order. So by Terry, if you have been here for any amount of time, you know that I love my By Terry Hydra Powder. I just bought a new one. I'm just trying to finish this one. I bought the new one at the Derm Store sale a couple of weeks ago. It is expensive. It depends on where you go, $50 to $55, but I use it every single day and it lasts me for years. This I think I've had for 3 years. It doesn't impart any color at all. You only need to use the smallest bit, which is probably why it lasts so long. It doesn't give me matte. I do like a luminous finish. I just don't like a shine, and it knocks down my shine. It's beautiful under the eyes. I don't have to worry about it changing the color of my foundation, especially because I usually just do my cheeks, the center of my forehead, my chin, and above my lip. And I don't want to have one color here and another color over here. So I love it for that. I also have this thing that I can't find, and I don't think they have it in stock. It is the Baume de Rose, is something they're very, very famous for, and I have been losing things. You guys, this favorite lip color from Clé de Peau that I got just a few weeks ago, cannot find it. I cannot find this lip gloss, but they make a lip gloss in the Baume de Rose. When I checked, it wasn't in stock, but I'm mentioning it just in case it comes into stock before the sale. Also their concealer, their Densalist concealer, if you have dry under eyes or older skin, it is a beautiful concealer that doesn't make things look worse. Caveat is it doesn't have full coverage, so it's for a more natural day. Again, if you've been watching me for a year, you've seen me go in and out of using that one, and I have two colors. One thing I love about that is that it's very thin, so I can put it on my skin. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, I do have concealers that are a little bit thicker. The Kosas, I toss that because it's gone bad. The Even Better from Clinique, they're great under the eyes, but they don't look that great on the skin, especially if you're older. It can look a little cakey. And the By Terry, beautiful on the skin, beautiful under the eyes. So those are my 3 picks from By Terry. Kevyn Aucoin is a makeup artist who has left us. He was groundbreaking. He has a couple of books. One's called Making Faces, and he's an icon in the makeup world. He really is. His line is not that big on the YouTube, in social media, and I think that might be because they don't release new products every 3 months. I am wearing the Etherealist today. Etherealist today. This is in EF06. It's a neutral undertone. It's a tad too dark for me right now. Better in the warmer months. Come May, it'll be fantastic on me. I love this. I never hear people talking about it. The coverage is a strong medium, but not full. It doesn't look cakey. Let me just pull you in. So this has been on for about 45 minutes. It doesn't look cakey. It looks so, so pretty on the skin and does not get a lot of love. Great for older skin, great for drier skin. Normal skin will be fine with this too. I can't say about oily skin, but this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful product, and you can often find it at Beautylish in stock, and hopefully it will be in stock for the sale. Hindosh, I'm not pulling out everything, but I did do a makeup look the other day with this. These are his color fluids, and he came out with some other colors recently, but I don't have them. This was the first one, and it's called Boy Tears. It's great for inner corner. I've used this in the past month in a video, and several people said, wow, the minute you put that on, your eyes just lightened up. In this video that I'm going to show you, this little insert, I used it all over the lid, and it's just a lovely, lovely little tool to have in your makeup kit. He also has 2 palettes. The second palette, Monochromance, which I'm not going to reach for, I prefer over Beautopsy, which was the first one, which is a little bit darker. If you put these side to side, one looks like spring, one looks like fall. For my aesthetic and for my skin tone, I love the Monochromance. What's so interesting about those, and I will post a video right here about the Monochromance, is that you could go away for a weekend or even a week and just take that, because these powders, actually I think they're pressed pigments, which is different than powders, can be used on your cheeks and on your eyes. And I've even dipped my finger and put some on my lip and then put a little gloss over it. You can really mix and match with them. It takes a little bit of skill, but you shouldn't be intimidated by it. I love both those items from Hindosh. I also love Call Me Peaches, which I wore in a video recently. I'll put in the shot here, the thumbnail, and someone said, oh, I like this color. And I thought, you know what, me too. I bought this Call Me Peaches a little while ago when it came out, and I thought, no, this is just not a good color for me. But recently I took it out again, and instead of putting on upper and lower lips, I put it down here, transferred it like that, and then blotted down and put a gloss over it. And it's a lovely peachy shade that I think a lot of people could make work depending on how you apply it. It's a matte, and it's not uncomfortable if you're somebody who doesn't like mattes. Oh, I also use one of his liners. I used it the other day. He only has one eyeliner, and it's in a chocolate brown, so it's not too harsh. It stays where it's supposed to stay. I don't use it in my waterline. It's not going to stay there, but lovely liner. So a couple of things from Hindosh. He's a beautiful makeup artist. His aesthetic is just stunning. Seems like a lovely man. My heart really pitter-pats for him. I think from gear-wise, there's 2 things I want to talk about. One is the serum, and I did a video recently, I just don't know if I put it up yet, talking about what I've added to my skincare, and that was one of the things. What I didn't mention about that is the consistency is thick. I did mention that in the video, but when I first got it, I put it on my hand and rubbed it in, and it absolutely goes away. Even though it has a thicker consistency, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, and it really helps to plump things up, and older skin needs to plump up. That's just something we need right here. I'm starting to get these things that I don't like so much, and that really helps fight against it. So I'm very much enjoying that little product. And their blushes, I'd say everybody talks about their blushes. You'll see me here put it on. Lately, I have been layering blushes a lot, sometimes 2 different colors, or sometimes colors in the same family very close to each other, but I've really been into doing that with blush. I'm a blush girl, and these are lovely. When I first got these, I applied them with my fingers, and I thought, okay, they're fine, but I recently started applying them with a brush, and what a difference. I have only a couple of colors. They also have some lips that look the same. They're longer, like this is square. It's like half that size, and those are comfortable. And also their face tint, which I've been doing some serious cleaning up lately, you guys, and now I can't reach for things because I put everything tight together. But I think it's called the Beautiful Skin Face Tint. It has a lovely mica sheen to it, but I'm saying just the right amount. It's not like, oh, I'm a Christmas ball. It's very comfortable. It's another product that says this is your skincare. I disagree with that. Put on your skincare. It's not incredibly moisturizing for dry skin, but for normal skin it might be, and for combo skin I think it will be. You might want to put on a sunscreen, of course, but you could probably skip your moisturizer, but don't skip your serums. Rae Morris makes beautiful brushes, and when you go to Beautylish, you're basically going to see all of her brushes. But this is a product that is called the Invisible Mattifier, and it's a dimethicone based or silicone based, and mine's kind of a mess. It flipped. So this is the pan where it should be, but when I received it, it had flipped. And I used it once in a while with my brush, and recently I got these, and I thought, oh, this is kind of better because I don't have to clean off my brush so much. I have been playing with this for the last couple of videos. It's coming back into my life. It's something that doesn't impart any color. Thank you very much. And I've been playing with it. I haven't come to conclusions yet, but I've been playing with using just a touch under the eyes instead of powder, because powder can be drying and take the hydration that is under your eyes out and make you look more crepey and more old. And I did it again today with the By Terry that I'm wearing, and jury is still out on this, but I love this product. It's a great thing to have. Really, if you're someone like me, where you're serious about your makeup, you feel like you're a makeup artist even though you're not, and you want to have all these tools for all these different issues or problems that you might have. That's kind of how I look at makeup, and I'm super glad to have this. It is expensive, time to get it on sale. Okay, Sisley-Paris, you guys. I think the only thing I don't have from Sisley-Paris, as I'm saying that, no, that's not true, but foundation and bronzer. I love their lip products. I think that's what they do so incredibly well. I have 5 of these. I've shown you swatches of 3 of the colors. These are so comfortable. I'm wearing Beige Bali right now. I have to say, probably the most comfortable lipstick I've ever tried on. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm kind of like the princess and the pea when it comes to lipsticks. It's too heavy. I feel its weight. It's too this, it's too that. I have sensitive lips, what can I say? When I put these on, I never, ever have a feeling of I can't wait to get it off. It's drying out my lips. It makes my lips look like little prunes. I feel the weight of it. Nothing. These are, I want to say my favorite lipsticks, but I'm sure there's something else I love as much. I can't think of one. They are so, so worth it, and I love the bullet. The bullet is shaped so I can be super, super precise with my super, problematic lip shape. And I don't have to use a pencil. I don't like to use pencils that much because my vermilion is quite pronounced and it just doesn't look that right. With this kind of bullet, it doesn't matter. Also in lips, the lip twist. I recently ordered a bunch of Sisley things for a very specific video that I haven't shot yet. And I think I might get one other item at the Beautylish event, and then I'll put that together. And maybe I'll try to finish that video before the Beautylish event ends. But the lip twist, I just got another one of these. When I first put them on, I'm like, a little too stiff. I think this is going to be uncomfortable. I think you just have to get past the first couple of wears. Whatever the finish is around this, you need to get past that, and it's super comfortable. It almost feels like it melts into the lips, but it is stiff enough where you're not afraid it's going to melt all over your face. I enjoy that very much, and it's something that's very easy to do. You can do it probably without a mirror in the car if you needed to, and the lip shines. For the longest time, the lip shine that I had was nude, which is right over there, and for that video that I'm speaking about, I bought another color. And as you see in this B-roll, I put it on the other day. I've got these products probably 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been putting this on every day. It's just a happy color. It's a bright color without being bright, like, oh, your lips entered the room. It's not your lips but better, but it's not so far away that it looks awkward. Love this color. They are incredibly comfortable, and I highly recommend all of these lip products. Now, for blushes, I recently bought a blush for that video. Those blushes I had never investigated before, and I want to investigate them more because they are beautiful. When I swatched it, I felt, oh, I really see that reflect, and it's a little too much. It's like a solid highlighter as opposed to a blush with a little bit of glaze to it. But when I put it on, that was not the effect I got. It was like a blush with a little bit of a shifting glaze to it. So pretty, looks so beautiful on my 60-year-old skin. I absolutely want to investigate more colors in that. But the one that I got first, which I also put on, I know I have B-roll of this, is the Orchidee. It is one of the things that is always right here. Always right here on this very crowded table are my Sisley lip shines, my lip twist, and this. I keep several blushes out. This is Coral, so it's coral, but they spell it Coral, and I believe they call this a highlighter blush. So I think the top part might be the highlighter part, I don't know. But as you can see from the B-roll, when I put it on, again, a beautiful, delicate sheen. It's not shiny, it's just a lovely, lovely sheen. Delicate colors, again. Get them in an event like this. Or build up your cards, your $20 gift cards, to buy something like this. And finally, I put on today, and I have shot a video, but I have not edited it yet. I will be doing so, but I bought the Sisley concealer about a week before I got the Tom Ford concealer. I kept on trying this and trying this because I feel like this is different in the Tom Ford. Has fantastic coverage. It looks great on my crepey lids because I have puffiness, like the puffiness of my under eye, the puffiness of my cheek. This underside that rubs when I smile, because everything lifts like this, the Tom Ford does not rub off. So that one I love very, very much. What I love about this one is that it looks so natural. I have tried this probably 7 times. I kept on going to it. I kept on going to it. And I thought it's so interesting how natural it looks. Now today I got the right amount under this eye and a different amount under this eye, and I powdered, and then I put the Ray Morris on, and then I powdered again. So it's not a fair day. But I felt like I needed a little bit of brightness, so I went in with yet another powder. It's a powder I would recommend, but I don't think they make it anymore. I'm not sure, but I'm going to recommend it anyway. This is the only thing I'm going to recommend from Chantecaille. And it's called Eclat de, not do. So it's D-O-U-X, I think it's de. No, do. And it's a lovely balm powder is what they call it. When I first got it, it felt like a balm, and then you put it on and it's a powder. And now that I've worked through it and I've had it probably for 2 years, it feels more like a powder. It's so beautiful on the face. It kind of blurs your pores out. I think it might have been a precursor to that other powder that so many people are excited about and love and say that it blurs the skin. And it might have been limited edition packaging. Look at that packaging. So I'm not sure, I'm just going to say consider it, but that's the only thing from Chantecaille. I do love their eyeshadow palettes, but they're all limited editions. Well, it seems to me, the ones that I have are limited editions, so I can't really say anything about that. They do have one right now on the site, and if it's one you're interested in, of course, it's the time to look into it. But I find that their foundations just don't have a good color range. In fact, I recently threw out my compact, their cushion foundation, because when I did the video, I remember looking at it thinking, this is super warm, and I put it on, and I thought, well, gosh, it's not that warm. But whenever I would go to use it again, I kept on feeling that it was simply too warm, and it depends on the light, if it's really sunny, if it's cloudy, and that's when you can see the differences, and I couldn't bring myself to use it anymore. I tried. It looks beautiful on the skin. It looks like nothing on the skin. So if there's a color that is good for you, I highly recommend you try the Chantecaille cushion. gorgeous. And I think that's why I kept it, really. I'm going to put the video right here where I'm discovering it, but I've decided Chantecaille needs to make better shades, and then I'll be, you know, interested again. I believe it was last summer they came out with this. This is the Eclat Ombre Liquid eyeshadow, I think is what it's called. This is the color Bronze. This has been my one and done go-to. On camera, in real life, I have a feeling it's almost gone. I love this. This is just the perfect shade for me. It isn't too one thing or too another thing. And I feel like because this color doesn't lean cool, and it has a teeny bit of warmth to it, that it will work on cool undertones as well as warm, as well as neutral. I can't sing enough praises for that particular color and this particular product. And eyeshadows, again, I recently bought some things for this other video, and I am deeply in love with this taupe. Every time I do that, I forget about the brush. Here's the deal. If you've watched me for, I don't know, the last 5 or 6 months, you've heard me say I'm really looking for the perfect gray. Because the perfect gray is something you can just wear all by itself. And I did find this from Joe's Road, which is a lovely gray, and I used it in a couple of videos, and it is a one and done for me. I just want to show you the difference in the color swatched on my hand. This is the Sicily, and this is the Jones Road. I can't explain it, but I can certainly justify having both colors. I'm wearing it right now, and the reason I'm obsessed with this kind of color, if you watch movies or television, take a look at what your main female character is wearing. In television and movies, they don't go for, you know, Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona looks. They want, generally, their character to look like she's naturally beautiful, but she needs a little emphasis, and they oftentimes are using a gray eyeshadow. And this one is an addition to my repertoire of that gray taupey color, where you can just put that on. It helps to define my eyes a little bit because I'm so hooded. And the formula is lovely. I have another color too in the other room, and I love these. For Surratt Beauty, if you like a lighter medium coverage, so to me there's light medium, medium, and solid medium, but not yet, you know, full. The dewdrops, again, reorganized. I'm not going to pull it out and show you, and I decided to do the Kevyn Aucoin today because I haven't worn it in such a long time, and it's so beautiful, and I wanted a little fuller coverage than the dewdrop. But the dewdrop foundation is great if you want just a little something. You will get coverage, just not a lot of coverage. I posted a couple of videos on this because at first I didn't like it, and then I changed my sunscreen, and all of a sudden it worked on me. Just changing my sunscreen, it was like, oh, okay, I get it now, I get it now. So that's a lovely foundation, but for me, Surratt, there's nobody who does blushes better than Surratt. Wearing them today. I have these 3, but I also have, I think I have 3 more upstairs. And this is the one I pull to the most. And what I love about this grouping that I made, and I'll link what colors these are down below, is I can just do this alone, or I can do this and this, or I can do this and this, you know what I mean? Usually I do all 3, which is what I did today, and then I felt like I wanted a little pink on the cheeks and just did these 2. There's something about these, they're made in Japan as I understand, it's a Japanese technology. I think they call it a flurry. You do not have to blend for an eon with these. I use my Chikuhodo brush, which we'll talk about brushes in a minute, and it's just like, whoop, don't really have to do much else. I think this is the most elegant, sophisticated formula in blushes that I've come across in powder blushes. Love. So those are the things that I know well and I use from Surratt. I do have a couple of their eyeshadows, but just 2. And they're not the kind of thing you would wear every day. They're more like fall colors, so I don't dip into those too often, but they're also lovely. Viseart. I don't think Sephora sells Viseart anymore, and I don't think Sephora sells Surratt anymore. I think they might do a couple of things, which is why I mentioned them. But Viseart, if you have crepey eyelids, you must try. The first time I used a Viseart, I thought, oh my God, these are so dry. But somehow they work. The colors are beautiful. I think their art direction in the past year or so isn't really me. They have kept a couple of the older palettes that I really like. I like the petite ones that are, I think there's 6 shades or 8 shades. There's a couple, Shoo Shoo, I love, and one more. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it right here. And then the Dark Edit palette. So they did edit palettes, and several of the edit palettes are no longer around. But the Dark Edit, I really love for fall and winter. So maybe you want to hold off until next fall to get something like that. But I love that palette. Now, Wayne Goss, I want to talk about a little bit. I went on site and his brushes were not there. There were a couple of brushes, but not the brushes I use. Usually on the site, if something is out of stock, the picture's still there and it says coming soon. And if you hit it, it will say, we love this product too, but it's out of stock. We'll notify you, put your email in, and it's not in that case. So I really don't know what's going on. The makeup's there. I don't know if he's getting out of the brush business, but I have several of his eyeshadow brushes, which I guess I'm not going to talk about. But I am going to segue right now into brushes. And this brush from Wayne Goss is called the Air Brush, I think. I use this every single day for powder. I got this idea from Lisa Eldridge. She always uses a big eyeshadow brush to powder instead of a whole face. So this is not a big eyeshadow brush, but it's perfect if I just want to take down sheen right here. I've also been known to use this with a contour. I'll pick it up right here. It fits perfectly. It really works fabulously. And then I can, blend up a little bit. This is a fabulous brush that I use every single day. I cannot recommend it enough. If it comes in stock, if the brushes come back in stock, I just don't know what's going on. I don't think I'll talk about the other brushes because I don't know what's going on there. So let me talk about a couple of face brushes. This is called the Classic Base from Sonia G. I am mentioning this just because I don't have a lot of foundation brushes. I like to use my fingers, and if you're looking for a new brush, maybe way to go. But see how it's bending as you move it? And now it's bent like this? I don't know why. That kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm a Virgo, I cannot help it. But that is a very decent brush. This brush is the Smooth Buffer, and I think she has two. She has a larger one, and this is a smaller one. I bought this for a video I did testing Michelle Wong's all-time favorites. I want to post that right here, where I bought her favorites and put them on my face. I'm so glad I did, because I bought some things that I really, really love, and this is one of them. And this is really for buffing out your powder. In fact, for the Guerlain powders. Let's do that right now. So for the Guerlain powder, you kind of break the beads and pick up from either the beads or from the top. I didn't have much on the top. And this is, you kind of do this and then you buff. Very gently. You don't want to move your makeup, but it finishes your skin in such a beautiful, beautiful way. You can do it on your forehead. I have tried to do it actually on my cheeks, but it just doesn't fit with this brush. And also the Guerlain imparts the teeniest bit of color, so I don't do this too often unless it's just suitable for either the colors or the foundation that I'm wearing. Buff it out, and it's so, so, so pretty. I imagine you can use it with other powders, duh. But that's why I bought it, and I love it. Fantastic brush. The other face brush I want to talk about is one of my blush brushes. This is what I use for blush, unless it's a cream. This is the Suq, and because of its shape, I kind of use more often. I use this for bronzer. So today I used a color actually from Surratt that I don't think is supposed to be a bronzer. I think it's a nude blush, and that's why I bought it. But I thought, oh, this is great bronzer. called Chaleur. Again, I'll put that down below. And I love it. And you could also do a little contour with this because it's a little bit flat. And they don't sell Suikyu, so let's get off that subject. They do sell Chikuhodo, which is a beautiful brush maker, and this is their face brush. I will link it down below. By the way, you guys, my brushes are always linked below, the ones I use the most often, but I love this for blush. So whether you want to do a sweep, whether you want to do a swirl, or you're blending stuff out, it is just so soft and so effective. Another way I like to do blush is to start here and then lift as you come into the center. That way your center doesn't start with a dollop of color. You guys, those are the only two brushes I use for powders. That has to say something. I cannot recommend this enough. I think they call this a highlighter brush, but for me it's a little too big for a highlighter brush. And that's it for face brushes. Let's talk about eye brushes. I am hooded and I am older and my lids are crepey. So I have special needs. And if you are that as well, hang on. I have done a video, which I'll post right up here, talking about my favorite eye brushes. I think it was right after I bought a whole bunch of new ones from Beautylish. Beautylish does brushes better than anybody. Period. Full stop. Sephora doesn't carry this kind of selection. Credo doesn't. I can't even think. Ulta doesn't. Not this high quality selection. I can't think of anyone that carries as many diversified brushes, beautiful brushes, well-made brushes, all price ranges. And a brush, some people say it's so expensive. I have brushes that I have owned since I was 25 and I'm 60. You take your care of your brush and it's going to last you for a really, really long time. So, I mean, if you have just one brush and you're using it every day, no, it's not going to last you for 20 years. But brushes are not that much an investment when you think of it that way. If you think of it this way, beauty blenders are $20. And we generally, I don't know about you, but after 3 months I have to toss it out. And I don't even use it every day. So why not get a brush for $30 that you're going to have for years? There you go. There's my analogy. So in no particular order, we'll start with some Sonia G's. I have these skies set. So these are two of them because I have a small table. Most of my brushes are behind me. And then I have some more brushes over here in a cabinet. These are the two that I use the most from the sky set. This is a very thick laydown. So it's quite versatile. And this is a small blender. I think that's what they call it. No, they call it the mini booster. If you have small eyes, I also have small eyes. A brush like this is so helpful to just get into a spot, whether you want something light right here or right here. And it's also great, again, if you have small eyes, you want to buff the edge out of something, but if you go in with a big brush, you're just going to bring everything up, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So if I want to buff something, really softly, gently, specifically, small moves with a small brush, great. But this comes in a set. I don't know if you can get this as a single. And these are the ones that I use the most. Brushes are amazing tools, and they definitely bring your eye game up. But with brushes, especially if you buy a set, there are going to be brushes that you don't use that often, but you need to have them anyway, you know what I mean? A certain eyeshadow calls for a certain kind of brush, period. It's just not going to perform without it. A flat brush. I don't use flat brushes very often, but when you need a flat brush, you need a flat brush. These are the brushes that I use the most often. So this is a pencil from Chikuhodo, and it's great for underneath. It's great if you want to do a powder contour, an area like your nose. You want to blend right through here. Fantastic. If you want to do a powder liner or certain textures of pencils and you just want to soften them up. I will also, if I have a small spot, smaller than the booster, that is just clinging to my eyelids and I want to soften it up, I'll just do a blend with this. It's a squirrel. It's a beautiful thing to have on hand as a tool. Might not be something you'll use every day. It depends on you, but I'm so glad I have it. This is from my Kitco. Again, small eyes need small brushes. And it's the kind of thing that I will oftentimes use. It just seems to hug the outside of my eyeball really well. If I want to do a little outer corner darkness, fits perfectly for these small eyes. You can also use it this way to blend, because it comes to a bit of a point. If you want to blend something super specific, again, there's just something that's not blending and it's bugging you. If you're a Virgo, you know what I mean. Perfect for that. I love this, but I don't necessarily use this every day. Lately I've been wanting to do, craving much more simple looks. This is a Ray Morris brush that is synthetic, but it was created to mimic squirrel. And it's a little bit of a candlestick, and this interesting shape, you can see it changes shape a little bit depending on which way it's turned. Great, because of that point in your hooded, and you want to get some color right here to help define a crease that you don't really have. It fits there super nicely. And I've also used this for laying down, even though it's not a lay down. Most people would say that these are blending brushes, but honestly, you guys, for me, when I got back into makeup, the 217 was what I used for everything. Lay down, blending, the whole bit. Speaking from my own experience, me every day, this Chikuhodo brush is my most used. I lay down with it. Lisa Eldridge does, you know, if she lays down with brushes like this, I'm okay with it. I blend with it. I can do this the same as the Ray Morris, but I think the Ray Morris is a slightly better shape. Blends out edges super, super softly. Let your brush do the work. Spend a little time. I mean, depending on the eyeshadow, do you know what I mean? This is the one I use the most. If you buy this and nothing else, I just, I call upon you to play with it. Play with different colors, different shadows. You will find over time, that's one that you just learn to love. You know, when I bought this group of brushes, I didn't have any preconceived ideas of what is going to be my workhorse, what's going to be the one I love the most. I started using all of them to figure out how they best applied, and I used several brushes every day when I did my look. But now, right now, I'm going through a simplified kind of thing. I want my eye looks to be a little more simple. I'm sure that will change, you know, it's not a lifestyle change. It's just a change in my attitude. This is the one that is my workhorse. And actually, these brushes, of all the brushes I have, these are the ones that lay right here. You guys, that's it. Brushes that you can get there, but look around. They have so many brands, so many things to choose from. Synthetic, natural, goat. Notice I actually do, it looks like none of these are goat. These two are goat, or they might be goat and synthetic mixed. These are squirrel. They're just softer, they pick up much better, they blend out much better. If you have sensitive eyelids, and I do, my eyelids are raging red half the time. I can't put on makeup and then take it off and put something on. If I take off makeup, I'm done with makeup on my eyes. They're beautiful for sensitive eyes. And that's going to wrap up today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope that I have been able to help you navigate what is buyable, what you won't regret if you get it at the sale to get your $20 gift card for every $100 that you spend. And that's it. And I want to wish you happy shopping.